A very warm welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mahwani. I hope you all are doing good today. Today is 11th July. Let's see what we have got in PIB today. The special topic that I have got for you guys is South Korea and India's bilateral relationship. Many things to know about South Korea today, but before that, I would like to introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses. As you can see on your screen, we have covered SSC and Bank, UPSC, CSC courses. We have also covered UPSC optional courses, state level public service and service commission exams, and defense exams are covered, railway, and much more on StudyIQ.com. Let me tell you one more thing, that all our pen drive and tablet courses are designed by the best faculties of our country. To get our test series, check out testseries.studyiq.com. In total, you will be provided with 40 test series. This will help you immensely with your prelims 2019. I will share the PDF of this lecture on my Facebook page and Twitter handle. Please make sure that you too pass it to someone else, and don't forget to hit the like button if you think that you have learned something from today's discussion. Now, let me start with a brief profile of this country called South Korea, the Republic of Korea. This is an official name of this country. Capital is Seoul, as you can see here. This is Seoul here, and the population is roughly speaking 48.6 or 50 million people are living here. Major language is Korean. Buddhism is a sort of thread that is connecting both India and South Korea. Life expectancy, particularly of women, is 84 years, and currency is won. Now, you can see here, this is portion. This portion is known as Korean Peninsula. You have North Korea and South Korea here. They have a sort of official border, but then again, many times you hear this thing that 38th parallel is dividing these two countries from each other. So make sure you keep this thing in your mind as well. Now, you can see, as I use this term, the peninsulas, that means that it is surrounded by waters from three different sides. So clearly you can see Sea of Japan here. Do you know the name of this sea and this sea here? If you know, then make sure you stick your answer in the comment section of this video. Now, if you are very new to this geography or world map, then let me give you a brief. This is the portion that we are talking about. You can see here two red dots. The top one is North Korea, and the bottom one is, of course, South Korea. You can see here ASEAN countries. This is Australia. So if you go up a little bit in the northern side, then you find this peninsular portion of Korea. With this, let me take you through a brief timeline. In 1945, after Second World War, Japanese occupation on this Korean peninsula came to an end. The northern part, that is area above 38th parallel, was conquered by USSR. You can see here Russia is not far. In fact, Russia is sharing a very small border with North Korea. In 1948, Republic of Korea was proclaimed. South declares independence, and this basically triggered a war or invasion from North Korea. During this point of time, from 1950 to 1953, there was a sort of Korean War going on, which came to an end with this armistice in 1953. But by this time, in these 3 years, somewhere around 20 lakh people lost their lives in this Korean War. In 1950s, after this 53, basically USA started. I think I told you about this thing yesterday, that South Korea was supported by USA as well as Japan. It learned things from both these countries very well, and today we know that it is a developed country. The most outstanding thing about South Korea is that in a very short period of time, right, from poverty, from rags to riches, this is this strength of this country called South Korea. In 60s, it decided to start industrial development. In 1988, the first free parliamentary elections took place between in this country, and beg your pardon, there was a bit of mistake here. In 1988, first free parliamentary elections took place in South Korea. In 2002, a battle was fought between South Korea and North Korea. And finally, in 2018, we know that in April 2018, there was a historic meeting that took place between President Moon Jae-in and North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un. And at present, it looks this area is bit quite now heading towards peace and denuclearization of Korean Peninsula. Hopefully, we will find this thing in future, but let's hope that this area becomes denuclearized. Now, interesting thing about India and South Korea. First of all, I would like to tell you that this is maiden. That means after becoming president, this is first visit of Mr. Moon Jae-in to India. Apart from that, do you know this interesting fact that when he was campaigning for his presidential election at that point of time, he also pledged that he is going to elevate ties of his country, South Korea, with India to the level of China, Japan, Russia and USA. This indicates that people of South Korea, they do give a huge amount of importance to India, which is a great thing. As I told you, that Buddhism is a thing that connects both these countries together. Apart from that, you know, this Samsung and LG, and there are more than 100 big companies of South Korea operating in our country. So this is one of the reasons as well. And one more thing, that for both countries, this Indo-Pacific region is a very important region. Earlier on, we used to hear this term Asia Pacific, but now it is more Indo-Pacific in the news. And the reason is that when we talk about Indo-Pacific region, we are talking about this Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean. As you can see here, that it is sharing its waters with Pacific Ocean. And of course, for India, the name itself indicates Indian Ocean is a very important ocean for us. A small thread that is connecting both this big ocean is this portion here, Strait of Malacca, and of course South China Sea. We'll talk about South China Sea in a minute. But let me tell you one more thing, that both countries' foreign policy, ours is Act East policy and theirs is New Southern policy. It's basically a synergy, isn't it? They want to look a bit southern side, we want to look a bit eastern side, right? Not only look, we want to act on this eastern countries, ASEAN countries, Japan, Korean Peninsula, all this region. Taiwan is there as well. So this is our Act East policy. So it's basically a sort of synergy. 2 + 2 = 5 and not 4. That's what synergy is all about. The other thing about President Moon is that he is credited for normalizing relations with North Korea. It is also widely said in this diplomatic world, that in this world of diplomats, right, it is widely talked and appreciated that it was Mr. Moon who was the main man behind this USA and North Korea's historic meeting that took place on 12th of June in Singapore. Now, two challenges that are faced by South Korea at present is, of course, South China Sea. So this is China's assertiveness in this region here, and of course its assertiveness in other parts as well. Also, we are facing similar problems in Doklam and other portions. So China is assertive, no doubt, and this is a sort of big red flag for South Korea. At the same time, USA and China's tariff wars are also creating problems for South Korea. Earlier on, relationship between China and South Korea were very cordial, but after this deployment of THAAD missile, China is a bit not happy with South Korea, and because of this thing, it created many sort of hurdles for South Korea. So now South Korea is taking these things that are going on, this USA China tariff war and South China Sea sort of things and other things by China as a diplomatic as well as economic problems that are new challenges for South Korea. Now, if we talk about these two countries, right, Korea can offer us a game-changing partnership by helping us in manufacturing, high technology industries, infrastructure building and other things. And on the other side, Korea, right, can get a predictable business environment, right, ease of doing business. Apart from that, they can invest and diversify, right, in a country that is basically they can invest in a country like India, that is one of the fastest growing major economy in the world. At the same time, they don't want to keep all their eggs in one basket. Earlier on, they have invested hugely in China, but now things have changed in China. China is no longer a low cost manufacturing base, right? Things are expensive in China now. China has crossed those dead, or you can say that threshold that was there when China was considered as a poor country. But now manufacturing in China is expensive. At the same time, they have developed their own technology, so this is going to be in direct competition with Korean production. So now they want to diversify this manufacturing hub, and this is one of the reasons why we find Samsung's biggest or world's biggest mobile factory being set up in Noida, Uttar Pradesh, India. We have a bit of a problematic past. POSCO steel plant was dropped by us. You can say our business environment was not right at that point of time, but today we understand difficult global trade environment, and we want to grab this opportunity by holding hands of each other. With this, dear friends, last item as far as our pen drive and tablet courses is concerned, but yet very important, that the price of UPSC pen drive and tablet course is 22,500 rupees only. If you compare this price with what you pay for traditional tuition classes or coaching fee, then it is somewhere around 2 lakh rupees. To find out more about it, to find out which faculty has contributed in which area or subject, check out StudyIQ.com. News items. MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, tells us that India and United Kingdom signed an agreement on exchange of experience by legal professionals and government functionaries of resolution of disputes before various courts and tribunal. How it works is basically we would be able to share expertise of our judicial as well as legal professionals with each other, and this will help us to sort out all those bilateral legal issues that are going on between both the countries or companies and people, etc. Of both the countries. So this is going to sort out all these problems that are going on, and at the same time we will learn from each other. Important news item coming from Health Ministry. Health Minister JP Nadda has said that government is working to make sure that this population or this growth in population is stabilized, and for that it has launched this life cycle framework. How this framework works, it will basically target health and well-being of mother and child. At the same time, our total fertility rate has dropped as well. It was 2.9 in 2015, but at present in 2018 it is 2.2, which is again not bad. Family planning programs are working on at present, right? And under this family planning program, nowadays we have many options as far as contraceptives are concerned. Mission Parivar Vikas is going on in 146 high priority districts and in 7 high focus states. And of course the main focus here, or the main objective, is to create awareness, and particularly in young couples, so that they can do their family planning. And moving on to another item, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has came out with a challenge, right? This challenge is for innovators, for companies, for academic institutions, for R&D centers, NGOs and municipal bodies. And basically the challenge is that you have to come out with a proper solution so that we can eliminate this human entry into septic tanks and manholes. This is a sort of job that I pray that no one has to do, right? Many times it costs lives as well, and this is something that we can do it with the help of technology or machines, or we can innovate some devices, and the challenge is out there. If you think that you can contribute in it, then make sure you take part in it, right? Mahatma Gandhi International Sanitation Convention, which will be held on 2nd of October this year, right? This challenge will become part of it. Moving on to another item, section 377. This is the last item in today's discussion, dear friends. The central government or government of India has left it to the wisdom of Supreme Court, and we all know that Supreme Court, particularly this constitutional bench of 5 judges, it will come out with a proper solution, a balanced solution for everyone in our country. At present we have talked about this thing, but very briefly I would like to tell you that section 377 is of Indian Penal Code, and basically it criminalizes homosexuality. It is also termed as a draconian law or Victorian law. In England at present this law is basically outdated, but in our country it's still going on. So let's wait and watch. Let's see what Supreme Court has to say about this thing. These are your answers, and these are your 2 new questions. And again I would like to tell you that don't forget to check out StudyIQ.com, and I would highly recommend you guys to to get our test series, right? This will help you immensely. If you are not sure about it, then if you are not aware about it, then let me tell you that in 2018 prelims, right, 65 questions out of 100 questions appeared, right? This 65 questions we have covered in our earlier test series. So check it out, right? You can take a sort of demo test as well. And with this, dear friend, don't forget to share this lecture with other people. Please don't forget to hit the like button and make sure you be a sport and pass your answers in the comment section. If you compare your English version students with Hindi version students, then you will find that they are more active than you. Let's have a competition, right, between them and you. Let's make it more participatory, dear friends. Let's make it more interactive. Enjoy your day. Jai Hind.